Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So recently I have been feeling a bit nostalgic, I guess you could say, in last couple of days, and I wanted to kind of like check a bit how far the game has come from back in the day. And there was once upon a time when Black Widow was considered to be a relatively hard hitting champion with a really solid damage output. And basically I just wanted to see how she will do now, because we know that Suicide Master is on a relatively decent hard-hitting champion these days, can get the Winter Soldier down at around 100 hits, maybe 150, and that would be considered a relatively reasonable damage output for a rank 4 5-star on Suicide Mastery. So this is Black Widow, 5-star, rank 4. Suicide Master is active now. I do not have like a perfect synergy team for her meant to increase her damage to the max. I was playing around with different synergies when I kind of like stumbled the idea for this video. But as we can see here, that Winter Soldier isn't really going down all that quick, and that definitely kind of got me thinking a bit, especially about how far the game has become and how wide of a spectrum there is with champions and their damage output. For instance, if we can take a look at another, let's say, somewhat older champion, Archangel, would have pretty much by now shredded this fight in 78 hits, and it would be completely over. And these are champions that were released about in the same year. So there is definitely a kind of like huge disparity in between damage output from champions, and it definitely has gradually been going up and up and up. On average, obviously, we do have some harder hitting champs, some weaker hitting champs, as all kind of like diverse games should, but at the same point I think we have kind of increased our standards based on these mega super god tier damage output champions, and anything that doesn't produce a massive yellow numbers definitely has a good chance of being kind of like cast aside. And this video definitely got me thinking as well, because I like Black Widow. I always thought she hit decently hard. I knew she wouldn't be setting any records, but I knew she used to at least be able to deliver quite decent damage output. But here you can see that we are closing in on 140 hits, and the Winter Soldier is still above 50% health. And this video definitely, in a sense, kind of reminded me the distance this game has traveled throughout the years, and how our expectations have changed with the times. Because if Black Widow would be released currently with that damage output, she would be absolutely slated as a noodle, as a weak hitting champion, as in like it's outrageous. Why would you produce a champion who hits that weak, so on and so forth. Even though obviously Black Widow has other qualities, and her signature ability mainly, she's not the most complex champion. She's kind of made by her signature ability, and maxing it was and is still as important as ever. And I think we can kind of compare Black Widow to a Namor from back in the day. So basically Black Widow is the old version of Namor, basically with a signature ability of being able to cancel out like a lot of BS that gets thrown in your way, and you always relied on max signature ability. There was nothing else kind of like outstanding about the champion, but at the same time you can compare kind of like Namor's mechanics today and what kind of crazy special damage he can deliver once he's like ramped up, and you can compare the lack of any such capabilities from Black Widow, because obviously she's an older champion. And actually, I do believe that the comparison with Namor kind of like back in the day is really accurate in a sense, because they were kind of meant to do extremely similar things, as in Black Widow previously was dealing with electros and torns and stuff like that, and that's what Namor's here for now, kind of. And neither champion has anything relatively special in the toolkit, but obviously Namor has this massive damage output potential. And as funny as it sounds, Black Widow used to be considered a hard hitter as well. And now we can see 241 hits later, I think it's quite obvious that she definitely is not a hard hitter anymore. But yeah, so the base idea is that, and I do realize that I'm big of a problem as it comes as well to these kind of comparisons and realistic kind of like expectations from the champions, and I always am fairly harsh when I'm valuing their damage output or potential utilities and usability, so on and so forth. But this video kind of definitely got me to rethink a couple of things, and definitely in a sense that where this game has come from 4 years ago or so, and how things have changed, or expectations have changed. And yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener for me, especially comparing Black Widow to Namor, because in my opinion they are two pretty much exactly the same function champions from different eras of the game. And now we can see such a major difference in between both of them. So 293 hits, 295 is going to be the total. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons. See ya.